Hi everyone, he's gone Saskatchewan green, trading in the blue and gold of Alberta. Local boy Brock Virtue is getting set to start for a province he's called home for a little more than a few months to go up against the province he's lived in all of his life at the Tim Hortons Briar next month in Edmonton. Daryl Rummel reports.
He was born 6 years after Saskatchewan's Briar drought began. Now, more than 3 decades later, Brock Virtue is hoping he's the one to finally bring it to an end. After making the difficult decision to leave Alberta for the chance to represent Saskatchewan, Virtue guided his rink to a 6-4 win in the SaskTel Tankard.
And I determined that it would be a good decision and give us a lot of opportunities. And so there's a lot of thought that went into it, obviously, but it was a tough decision, especially after last year's provincial final, but turned out to be a good decision.
Success hasn't always followed Saskatchewan rinks. In the past 2 decades, the province has carried a losing record in the Briar a dozen times. But if the pressure is starting to mount upon Virtue, he's not showing it.
If you enter a tournament unprepared, you're never going to have a chance of winning. So I think the most important thing is to go in there prepared, and I expect the results to pretty much take care of themselves. As long as we do what we can do, we'll give ourselves the best chance we can.
Virtue's curling resume is strong, including a pair of Alberta Junior Championships, a Canadian and World Championship. In Alberta, he struggled to get by the likes of Kevin Cooey and Kevin Martin. Now he'll face the country's best on the national stage.
We're looking at one of the toughest Briar fields I think there's been in quite some time. There's us and BC are the only 2 teams that haven't been in a Briar before.
The newly formed Virtue rink appeared in just 1 Grand Slam event this year, going 2-3. Now they'll bear the pressure of a province starved for victory, a hunger they'll try to feed when the Briar opens on March 2nd in Edmonton. Daryl Rummel, CTV Sports, Lethbridge.
And you can see it all on TSN starting March 2nd, as Rummy just said. There is only 1 unbeaten team left at the Scotties, now going on in Kingston. Manitoba and Ontario played this morning, 7th end. Manitoba leading 6-5. Ontario skip Rachel Holman with a nice, quiet takeout for 2 and a 7-6 lead. It was almost 3 there. But Manitoba got those points back in the 8th end with a deuce of their own. Jennifer Jones with an open draw for 2 and an 8-7 lead. She'd go on to win it by a count of 9-7. So checking out the standings now after 13 draws, Jones is at 8-0. Ontario next at 7-1. Heather Nedwin and Team Canada lost to Saskatchewan this morning and have a 6-2 record. Let's talk some hockey now. Lethbridge Hurricanes head coach Rich Preston says there's no bigger motivation for his hockey club than being bumped out of a playoff spot. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference standings now. The Canes sit just 1 point back at the Kootenay Ice for the 8th and final spot in the Eastern Conference. Each team has just 12 games left, and they'll face each other twice during that span. The Medicine Hat Tigers are in 6th spot with 63 points and got beat 5-2 by PA last night. Lethbridge's Lucas Sutter and his Saskatoon Blades tied a franchise record last night with their 12th consecutive win, and they sit 2nd overall comfortably in the East. The Canes say being in 9th is a real wake-up call.
Well, it better be. We're in the wrong. Everybody's in the wrong business if if we're not ready to go Friday.
Yeah, definitely. It's not good to be out of a playoff spot right now. We know we have games coming against all these teams ahead of us, so we got to win these games coming up.
Well, like you said, we got to get every point coming into a playoff push. Just looking at the standings now, we're 1 point out of 8th. I mean, every point's critical coming into these last 12 games.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that some teams had games in hand on us for a while now, and everyone's playing good right now, and it's, I mean, it is what it is, but it's going to be a close race.
Realizing that how much these games mean late in the season, especially division games, and it's a good rivalry on Friday. We got Red Deer here, and we're all excited to work hard here the last 12 games of the season and push for a playoff spot again here.
And as Jamin just said, the Red Deer Rebels are in town on Friday night, 7 o'clock, face-off at the NMAX Center.